What's going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about the really cool buffs and changes I've made to Iron Moth for my ROM hack, Pokemon Scrambled Scarlet. If you've never heard of this before and this is your first impression of my hack, welcome. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Don't click off. I know it might not be the type of competitive analysis you were expecting, but I think you'll enjoy it if you stick around and listen. If you are new here, though, I would recommend you pause the video. Don't click off because it'll mess with the watch time, but pause the video and read the description. It's got a lot of important information about how the ROM hack is balanced and how it works overall. So just give that a look. It'll answer a lot of your questions that you might have at face value just by looking at this. And there's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about, so I'm going to get into that now. First and foremost, if you haven't seen the other videos yet, watch them after this one. You know, they're pretty cool. I've got a video on Volcarona and Slitherwing, but as you can see, Larvesta now can choose which of the three to evolve into, and all of them have their own cool little things. You know, Volcarona's got that Drought, that Serene Grace cheese with the, boosting moves and all that crap, and then, of course, the typings are inherently different, so they inherently provide different defensive and offensive utility. It's also got some good defensive utility, not only just because of the typing and stuff, and basic stuff like Will-O-Wisp, which all of them share, but would you turn all that crap, which again they all have. But Sandsear Storm, that's a cool little unique tool. While Slitherwing has Fluffy, it's incredibly bulky. It's got other great utility as well. But if you want to hear more about how that works, watch the video for Slitherwing after this one, because it's out already by the time you're watching this one. But Iron Moth, I mean, you can argue it's like the most utility-oriented, but it's not really because, I mean, Fluffy is insanely bulky, and then Sandsear Storm is a great fucking priority burn move. So all of them have their own cool utility things. But this one obviously has the buffed Black Sludge, which, as you guys know, if you're returning here, you know I love my poison types, so that's why that's buffed so significantly. It makes every single poison type just incredible, even just for being a poison type. And in this case, it makes them much better defensively, which is what I wanted to do. I think making them like a kind of a tanky or Mon is really fitting for their design, especially having that big SPDF stat, given that they're like this weird futuristic Moth thing, right? It's cool. I did lower their speed, so competitively minded players might be freaking out. Why would you do that? Also, why would you take away Quark Drive? What's going on? What no agility? Why is there no agility? So I'll answer all that in a second, but I really wanted to encourage the use of Volt Rush on this guy, and as for why I swapped it out. So all of the other paradoxes keep Quark Drive and Protosynthesis, besides Donphan's Paradox forms and Volcarona's Paradox forms. That's because it's kind of a new little rule, I guess, I made, where essentially, what am I trying to say here? Essentially, because they have a past and future form, they get to kind of break the rules, in my opinion. I think it's pretty cool. So giving them that speed boosting ability purely is much more interesting to me than giving them Quark, because Quark is a lot more limited. It's not, I mean, it's also more versatile in the regard that you can boost multiple stats, of course. And in this case, it's actually not a big deal. I would say Quark would be fine on this guy with 110 speed and whatever, because you can just run less special attack EVs and get the speed boost, booster speed, whatever, or run it in terrain. But I just think Volt Rush is fucking cool, and I really like Solar Rush on Volcarona, on Slitherwing, excuse me. And then I really like it on the Donphan forms for sure. And I figured, I may as well just have them be a little exclusive rule. If they have two forms, they get Volt Rush and Solar Rush instead of Quark Drive and Protosynthesis. So it's pretty cool. Again, the abilities are still thematically fitting. They're related to the terrain and the sun, so it definitely works in that regard. But yeah, great defensive utility with that Black Sludge, with that Plasma Pulse, with that Energy Shield, with that Levitate. I mean, this guy can do it all. It's so fun. I love Slitherwing too. I don't know which of the two I like more. They're both so cool. I think design-wise, obviously, Slitherwing is way cooler, but gameplay-wise, Iron Moth is so cool too. So I don't know. It's tough. I love the changes here for Iron Moth, but yeah, great offensively, of course. I mean, 140 special attack, and it's got other really cool things it can do. But I did take away agility because I really want to encourage using Volt Rush for speed. Of course, it can still slap on a Scarf, but you only get one Scarf per boss fight with Item Claws, so you might want to use it on somebody else. Meanwhile, if you have like a terrain mon, or if you just manual terrain, not only does that make you way faster than Scarf does, it also lets you run HP EVs, so you take hits better. And then, of course, it also allows for you to switch your moves, most importantly, so you can get multiple kills in a row in Volt Rush. You can just go I mean, dude, Volt Rush, fucking Meteor Beam / Electro Shot, that goes... Oh my god, I didn't get them Electro Shot. Holy... No, I did. It's right here. I was going to say, no way I forgot that. I gave it to, like, almost all the Paradox guys. Yeah, okay, so... all the future ones, all the special attacking future ones at least. Not all of them, but pretty much all of them. Super cool. Electro Shot, Meteor Beam in the terrain. You're outspeeding everything. You get +1 guaranteed. I mean, it's a big nuke move. You blow up whatever's in front of you, and then you have +1 special attack, +2 speed. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to click a setup move, right? Of course, it takes a power error, but in terrain it doesn't matter because you're outspeeding. So as long as you're clicking one of the two that's killing whatever's in front of you, you're good to go. And then you can just use your great coverage and just, get a bunch of kills from there. It is, I mean, might end up being broken. I might have to end up, doing some balancing stuff down the line as the game is out and people play it. We'll have to see. I don't even know if those qualify as setup moves either, so it's like kind of tricky, but yeah. Tons of cool nuke attacks, nuke options that you get, tons of great utility on top of that plasma pulse that always burns with that black sludge, fire poison, morning sun, stuff. That's obviously great because you just heal and you burn for free. Will-O-Wisp is also a guaranteed burn, but it doesn't do damage, and it only has 2 PP. It's 100% accurate, but yeah, only 2 PP. Meanwhile, Plasma Pulse, you can burn as many things as you want. Not to mention, it does do a little bit of chip damage, and a lot of damage depending on whatever you're clicking it on. So that's super cool. They do have tons of great coverage. So Steel Beam, I should probably push that later. Well, no, I like Steel Beam because it encourages Volt Rush. Never mind, I'll let it rock. It is pretty crazy, though. Maybe I should push it. Because this was one of the earlier ones I did before I realized how good Steel Beam is, that it boosts special attack now, and because with the other ones, at least you have to run power, but this you don't even have to do that. And taking half your health seems like a big deal, but it's not really in-game. I mean, it is, but it's not. Yeah, I'm going to rework this a bit. Fuck, I have to do the goddamn Great Tusk. I keep forgetting. If you guys have been bulk watching these, or what, if you remember the fucking Great Tusk move conundrum that I keep forgetting. Oh my god. Tusk. I'm literally writing in bold letters so I don't forget. After this video, I'll do it. And then move, Iron, Moth moves. It's funny, man. If you're like watching all these in succession, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, let me move these around a bit. I don't know. I'll figure it out after the video. But yeah, overheat, that's definitely staying where it is. Okay, I'll figure this out later. Just don't let me, I will not forget. So ignore the formatting being messed up. I know it's kind of ugly, but yeah, Zap Cannon, I mean, you got Zap Cannon, Blast Burn, both are Draco Meteor type variants, so those are very strong. You got tons of awesome coverage, Eternal Beam, not Earth Power, Scorching Sands I had to keep, because I don't see Scorching Sands at all on this thing, nor do I see Sand Tomb. However, they just kind of have to have it, right? Because I definitely see it on Larvesta for earlier in the game. I think it's really cool coverage on Larvesta, and they evolved from Larvesta, so therefore they have to get those moves. But yeah, you got tons of great slow pivot with teleport or fast pivot with Volt Switch. That's great. With that black sludge, I mean, this thing is such good defensive utility. I love it. I would love to use them. It's so cool. I love the energy shield with the black sludge and the morning sun. I mean, you're taking so many hits. You're getting your energy shield back consistently because of that black sludge healing and the morning sun healing. You can also use energy shield plus Giga Drain and parabolic charge. Those are, and siphon even, and mega drain. All these are heal moves, right? Those heal you by a lot, so that's really, really fun. Again, tons of great coverage. You got Arrow Blast, which is flying type, special Wicked Blow, Subspace Tear, and High Voltage, all of which are special Wicked Blow variants. However, you cannot use those twice in a row. So with Scarf, you can't spam them. However, with Volt Rush, you can click one and then click another. Click Subspace Tear, then go on to click Burn Up or whatever the fuck else you want to click, So that's great. That's another really good reason to incentivize using Volt Rush and getting that electric terrain set up. Again, it's very easy to do versus AI. You can manually terrain set with Move Relinner. Very, very easy with somebody else or with Moth themselves. Ideally with somebody else, but you can do it with Moth as well. And then of course, if if you're playing Teamlocked and you got lucky enough to have an electric terrain mon or electric surge mon, excuse me, or you're adding a mon and you have an electric surge mon already, then go ahead and add the Iron Moth. That'll be super fucking fun to use because it's even easier to set up. You can just send it in and then switch out. You don't even have to click the move at that point. Although again, the move is very easy to click now. You're fighting AI, right? It's not like a real human being where manual terrain is kind of ass. It's pretty good. Definitely gets the job done at least. Rising Voltage, obviously great with Volt Rush, very, very spammable. Same power as High Voltage, but High Voltage can't be clicked twice in a row while Rising Voltage can be, so that's the pro. And also it's 13 levels earlier, so significantly earlier. Again, tons of great coverage, Power Gem, Meteor Beam, Aura Sphere, Focus Blast, all of them make a lot of sense. I mean, I see Aura Sphere on all of these like legendary type motherfuckers, like Volcar Run is like kind of a pseudo legend in that regard, and now it's an actual pseudo legend, and then I don't know, it just makes sense. I got that aura, the legendary aura, whatever, and then in Iron Moth's case as well, like this robot paradox vibe. Eternal Beam for the same reasons. I mean, it's a super fun fairy type recoil move, special recoil move. Overheat is special Flare Blitz. That's super good with Scarf or just with Volt Rush in general, even with Energy Shield. Energy Shield can also just be a great defensive tool, like to switch in, right? So if you can't take a hit normally, you swap to Energy Shield, you run Choice Scarf, you take the energy shield hit that you wouldn't be able to take otherwise, and then you kill whatever's in front of you with you know, Scarf. That's another really good application of it outside of just purely defensively. It's also good offensively in that regard. Just to take the hit and then dish something back, you know? Or you could, again, use stuff like Parabolic to heal yourself. Levitate is awesome. Obviously, I don't need to explain why that's good on this thing. It's not going to be relevant every boss fight because you have you have the ability to change your abilities whenever you want, so not every boss fight's going to have a ground move, and then even more so, when they do have ground moves, you're not always going to need to switch in on it. Not at all, you know. Sometimes you might want the speed or the defensive utility of Energy Shield. It depends on the path that you're taking for that boss fight and the specific strategy you're having. Even if there is a ground move on the team, doesn't mean you're automatically going to want Levitate. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, tons of super cool coverage, super funny, strong stab moves. I would love to use it. I think I low-key maybe would want to use it more than Slitherwing, but I don't know. I love Slitherwing too, though. Tough call for me. I would low-key like flip a coin, or probably just decide based on my other teammates, like the synergy with my other teammates at the time, because again, it's balanced around Teamlocked, so you're using your other teammates. But yeah, even like T-spikes and shit is great with Energy Shield. I mean, this thing can do so many fun things, utility-wise and offensively. So yeah, weird shit like Trailblaze is because Larvesta gets it. What are some other weird moves that they get because of Larvesta? Not too many other. I mean, the bug ones like bug biting and leech life are kind of weird. Maybe, you know, but that's all just because of Larvesta. So yeah. Thank you for listening. If you made it to the end, other stuff I could touch on, Revelation Dance, Fiery Dance, are not. I was borderline deciding not to give them, but I mean they are flavorful moves, so I kept them. But and it's cool for the AI, but the thing is the AI can just have whatever moves they want. It doesn't have to be a legal move, you know. Because 50% chance to boost your stat is not something I ever want to encourage. Ever. You should, if you click this shit trying to get a boost and you're not like a super casual person just playing for fun, shame on you, alright? Shame on you if you're in a Teamlocked nuzlocke and you're trying to get a Fiery Dance boost. You have so many better things to be clicking than that shit, man. I'm very disappointed in you if you do that. But they are there for flavor. And it'd be really cool in like the AI, like the Turo fight, to use those for dual stab, because they're both 90 base power dual stab that, you know, boosts his stats. So that's pretty cool. And 50% chance versus the AI should be treated as a guaranteed boost, you know. So he's basically getting the boost every time in terms of prep. So that's all really fun. Steel Beam obviously incredible, even better than Electroshot and Meteor Beam in some regards, because it doesn't require Power Herb. Obviously, again, takes half your health, but if you're prepping correctly, you can just position so you don't take damage, and then you're going crazy, you know, or you take enough damage to still live. It's not a big drawback, man. I might have to end up nerfing them at some point. We'll see how this goes. How stuff. I mean, maybe at least make them weaker, the moves, so that way getting OCOs with them is a bit harder. You have to like, you know, maybe position a bit better or weaken things a little bit first. Meanwhile, this, like, you can just click it, and as long as it's like, you know, not that tanky of a mon, or you know, whatever, it's easier to get kills with them because of the high base power of them right now, because you get the boost before you attack. Well, Steel Beam you don't, but Steel Beam's base power is higher to compensate for that, and it is also weaker than Electroshot and Meteor Beam for that very reason, right? Because the drawback is significantly less. Taking half your health in game is not as much of a big deal as taking up your item slot. So both of them are minor drawbacks, to be fair, but you get the point. Other cool shit, I mean, I don't really need to cover too much else. I mean, defensively, you got like Iron Defense, Amnesia, Energy Shield, Black Sludge, heal moves, burn moves, Power Glow at the end of the game. Don't even fucking think about it. I mean, it's overkill. Yes, Power Glow, Volt Rush is fun. You get +2 special attack, and you're outspeeding everything in terrain. It's cool and all. It's an endgame move. I wouldn't even really worry about it or think about it too much. It's just there for flavor. Pretty much all the future paradoxes I gave that to for flavor. It's not useless or anything. Obviously, it's good. It's just, it's kind of overkill. I don't know. I feel like even Meteor Beam type shit is low-key a little better, but it depends on the situation, of course. You could even use like Power Glow with healing moves, so that's a cool thing you could try out as well. And Energy Shield, the beautiful thing about Energy Shield sweeping is like, so for example, the only way you have to boost speed is Trailblaze and Flame Wheel, right? So outside of, you know, Volt Rush. So it's really exploitable because you can like Energy Shield and then the Quick Claw Mon. If it's just 4 attacks Quick Claw or whatever, you can use Energy Shield to live the Quick Claw attack and not have to switch out and end your, you know, sweep. So that's really good. Definitely a bit exploitable there. Tons of things are now because of Move Reliner, but that's just the nature of having Move Reliner in the game. Yeah, thank you for listening. Super dope changes overall. Stat-wise, I mean, big defense. Yeah, I guess I probably should have addressed the min-maxing at the beginning of the video. I don't know, man. It's a paradox. It's a fucking legendary adjacent type mon. I wanted them to just be tanky, and I think they make sense to be tanky, that they're like this weird futuristic robot. So having good defense and really good special defense is really cool, and I still want them to have a respectable speed stat. So don't, I just, there you go, 40 attack. I mean, it makes sense for them. They don't look like they could really attack physically at all. They don't even have limbs. So, I mean, I guess they could like slash you with the fucking blades or just charge into you, but it's not, I don't know. It's whatever. I think it's cool. Yeah. Hopefully I covered pretty much everything. Could be some other thing. I mean, burn up is sick with, with just removing your typing. That's really cool. And it also gets a guaranteed burn, so that's super fun. On all fire types basically, but especially on, Moth with the black sludge. It's just cool. So yeah, if you made it to the end, shout out to you. I appreciate you very much. Leave a comment down below what you think, and I'll be back for more coming up. Peace.